Tribe. Welcome back. It's me again, Mr. Hall, author, founder, artist, conscious systems architect, literal death survivor, ethical taboo and kink, creator and educator. Spiritual burp, excuse me. If you know, spiritual burp. Anyway, titles are relevant, right? I'm back again to give you some clarification, possibly provide confirmation, as well as perspective, perception, and context into this human experience, as reality is still catching up to fully define what I am as we are. I am because we are, and delving into the unexplainable and yet undeniable, depending on where you find yourself on this journey of human life. As we're all spirit having the human experience. Okay, so when I begin the video, I begin to channel, and some things that I have picked up prior to the video starting. Okay, let me get these words in order for us. All right, so I'm picking up on this energetic release, okay? Really getting down to the details, okay? So paying attention to details and recognizing patterns. So pattern recognition is very significant. Some of the previous readings have really picked up on global change, okay? Also interdimensional, multidimensional changes in the self and how we relate to others consciously, okay? And this has shifted now into really bringing the subconscious into the conscious, and the ways that psychological warfare have taken place, as well as energetic warfare, even spiritual warfare, right? If you're unfamiliar with these terms, go ahead and do some research and then come back and we can continue. The reading may not resonate or be for you, okay? And if it's not, go ahead and share it with someone that you believe it is for. Now, for those of the tribe that are following, I'm picking up this release and reset, but also an enjoyment period, right? Because we are entering into the Taurus full moon, okay? And that may have significance for someone. The readings are timeless, okay? And specifically during this recording, the full moon is upcoming. Today is the 4th, so a day of stabilization if we look at numerology and the vibration, energy, frequency of numbers and the messages that they send. All right, you may have been doing some deep diving. I'm picking up deep dive, okay? Something possibly significant about diving, okay? Something about you finding something within your inner depths, your willpower, okay? Your sacro-sexual pleasure energy, right? You really finding this balance between pleasure, okay? Okay. Still channeling what came up before, okay? Channeling memory recall, memory recreation, memory deconstruction, okay? These terms are coming up. They may be significant for someone, but either way, you found yourself in these spaces of tunnels, right? Being trapped in specific dimensions. And when I'm referencing dimensions, we can look at this from many different perspectives, okay? We practice omnism and animism on this channel, all right? A bit of truth in everything. And like information, we put the bits and pieces together. We then understand that cohesive and full pattern of information, and then we apply wisdom to that information to create, okay? So something significant about that, some type of 3-step process as well. So something about 3 steps, 3-step process. The number 3, okay, 33 may be significant depending on where you are within any groups, organizations, spiritually, spiritual circles, right? Apply it how it fits, okay? No goods, evils, simply of what is, and more, okay? So these were the things that I picked up recently. Deep diving into release, creative energy, okay? Being utilized to transform. All right, and then with the full moon energy, picking up this celebration. All right, so you may be celebrated in the ethers, you may be being celebrated in a literal sense, you may be being celebrated symbolically, but some form of celebration taking place for you and possibly those around you, okay, and in your energy. As far as soul tribe, family, literal family, friends, co-workers, okay, any aspect of the human existence that statement would apply for you, okay? And you really becoming better at fitting, I won't, so fitting in is coming to mind, but not fitting in, right? And finding where you fit in the grander scheme of things in relation to yourself, your life stages, okay, the cyclical nature of existence, and also being outside of that cyclical nature. All right, really giving some space to other perceptions, other perspectives, right? Really finding yourself in a new flow, okay? And something that did come up as well, okay, I'm picking up a ring of fire, a ring of light, okay, a pure ball of light, a pure ball of energy, okay? Something about semantics as well. That may be significant. So you may be feeling very positive either way. So, okay. So separating reality from a hologram, okay? And when I mention this in specific spiritual circles, in specific understandings of consciousness and layers of depth of being, we're seeing illusions be peeled back, okay? And an understanding into sense, okay? So something about innocence. All right. So those are things I picked up before the reading. Now let's get into some tarot and oracle cards. Let's do a bit of divination, okay, in healthy ways. I'm also picking up, in the last reading we mentioned the title, it's coming up, flexing your miracle muscle, this muscle that you have in your mind for neuroplasticity and creativity, okay? I've been guided to use the Universe Has Your Back deck, okay? Okay, I'm picking up multiple timelines happening simultaneously and the access to new dimensions within yourself and externally. So new dimensions of appreciation, right? New dimensions of color, of life, of vibrancy, of vitality, of pleasure, of joy, of love, right? And an integration and transmutation of energy. So you may have had some strong projections coming towards you, all right? Understanding the subtle forms of warfare that can be impacting or attempting to impact your energy, okay? Right. I'm picking up making friends with your demons, okay? Making friends with your imperfections, making friends, okay? So really connecting to things, okay? So, okay, something significant about this. Interesting. So the words hemoglobin, okay? Something maybe significant about that. Oh, okay. So something may be falling directly into your lap. This this wanted to come into mind. So you may have been feeling like you were running some type of marathon, okay, through existence, okay, and possibly releasing some form of addiction and really reconciling actions into the zenith, okay? Reconciling actions into the zenith. Let's go ahead and check out the word zenith. Okay, I'm picking up Xenon, if you've ever seen that film or TV show. Okay, so something relevant about the media and the way that you are now creating the media of your life. Okay, so you may be doing some type of sketching, some type of redrawing, okay? Reconciling, so some type of reconciliation taking place. Okay, so some type of reconciliation taking place around how you view the past, your attachment to the past, and how you're no longer allowing the past to move forward into your future. Okay, if we look at time linearly, all right, and I'll make that reference of looking at time or viewing time or understanding time linearly as quantum physics, okay? Look into some quantum physics and the latest findings on the way that time exists for us, okay? Because something about folding in on time, folding in layers, right? And we did pick that up in one of the previous readings as well. A connection to self, a connection to true love, a connection to higher self-love, okay? Give me a higher love. Oh, give me a higher love. Okay, all right, so something about that song is significant. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers, okay? So releasing some form of triggers as well, okay? I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness, right? So it's the energy that I was picking up also is this: I'm not a killer, but don't push me, right? And of course, that language has meaning for someone in the tribe, okay? So these may be significant, but and look at this imagery in the card, right? So we have the owl, right? So representing some type of wisdom that you have gained by balancing. So if we look at the borders of this card, we see the darkness, okay? So the void, a space of creation and or perceived evil or oppression or opposition, right? But when we look at the center into this owl, right, you are the wisdom. So I'm picking up third eye energy as well, raw energy, but holding this wisdom through the dark with the eyes closed, okay? You see how this owl has the eyes closed, right? And also this purple overlay of the watercolor, right? So something about your psychic gifts or your connection to the divine representing this nurturing, loving nature, all right? So the color purple may be very significant. The film, the color purple. So purple and oranges, as we see in the background here, the orange, okay, I'm pointing at, all right? So blending your creativity with your intuitive nature to really bring, and I say intuitive nature because an owl would be a part of nature as well, right? So blending the nature of your creativity with your higher understanding and conscious awareness, okay? Taking from the subconscious, because as we see, this light in the center, right? So that light that I picked up, that ring of light, in this formation, it's more, you know, angled. So something about angles, angels, okay? Angles are angels, may be significant. And you blending the dark and the light, right? You blending your shadow self, your light self, right? Your lower dimensional aspects with your higher dimensional aspects, okay? I'm picking up a 6 energy. So 666, blending of the divinity and the flesh, okay? And excuse me, okay, confirmation and spiritual burp as well, if you are familiar, okay? And I'll say it just in case this is the first time you're watching. A spiritual burp would represent some form of release, okay, and or confirmation in the specific spiritual communities. Okay, so you've blended your dark and light and are using higher okay, so I'm picking up Encanto, in consciousness, incontinence, okay? So non-permanence, okay? Connecting to this detachment perspective and minimalistic perspective in your works, okay? In the work of your life, in the work of your professionalism, in the work of your pleasure, in the work of your beauty, in the work of any aspect of your human existence, right? Being pure magic, okay? Finding the magic in life, in reality again, okay? During bleak times, okay? And this is coming up because globally we were picking up that so many in society are feeling a low, okay? A low in the why, okay? A lull in a reason for existence. I'm picking up the Shakespearean, okay, yeah, Shakespearean perspective of to be or not to be, okay? All right, so you're tapping into this energy, okay? Okay, something about 2050, so that may be very significant. You may have been shifting or experiencing some form of precognition, all right? I'm getting confirmations through the messages as well, by the way, popping up on my phone screen. So something about being bombarded with messages. I'm picking up this energy of you stepping into your power, being balanced, right, with your dark and your light, and inclusive, non-judgmental, but and maintaining discernment has led you into this space of being a light in the darkness, and also having a specific protection around you through wisdom, connection, and creativity. All right, that's going to be significant. But 2050 and precognition, so really being able to see yourself forward, right? Okay, to feel yourself forward, to get closer to, right? To get closer to what brings you joy, to get closer to what sets you free, and separate from triggers that pass, right? So things from the past may have been re-presenting themselves, and you're getting stuck on, you possibly were getting stuck in tunnels of perception, perspective, identity, right? And you're shifting away from the attachment to any of those circumstances, okay? So that's something significant for your tribe. And we'll call this POW 1. That's significant, Okay, so number one may be significant. So you may be beginning something. You may be a visionary. You may be an artist. You may be a revolutionary. You may be a nonconformist. Okay, in some aspects. I find deeper meaning in personal growth amid the discomfort. Right. In short, recently what we just discussed. So I'm picking up sequential steps moving forward. Okay. A pattern, a buildup. All right. So shifting from the internalization of recent experiences in your life, okay, and stepping out and inward, stepping outwardly to embodiment. Okay. So stepping outwardly to embodiment. And what else came up on this? So the number's 2399. So some type of master completion taking place. Okay. Something about a receipt. You may have been looking for some type of receipts, and funny enough, on one of the other channels, no coincidences, right, there was a sharing that I made of some form of receipt. Okay, so you may want to check that out. So X may be significant. X marks the spot. That may also be significant in some type of ritual you are completing. Okay, and you are the center of some, so you may be the center of some form of ritual. Take this how you will. This could be projections. This could be some type of initiation. Okay, so I'm picking up initiation as well. But either way, my fearless freedom lights up the world. Right. Okay. And we'll call this pile 2. So something about the moon phases. You may be doing and practicing some type of magic. Okay. And or some type of relationship with the tradition. Okay. Relationship with tradition. As far as occult magic, as far as, or occult esoteric knowledge, right? Logics, okay, limited linear logics, okay, and rationale, okay? Again, something significant about these yellows and oranges, right? So that orange, where's my sunset? There we go, right? Okay, something significant about yellows and oranges as well. You may have been putting yourself in abrasive situations purposefully to be able to communicate more effectively, all right, to reach more. Okay, as you're connecting, you're doing whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness, okay? So that initiation, that beginning, okay? Okay, so something about yes in reverse. So if you had a specific question in mind, we have a reverse yes. So I'm not picking that up as a no, but a different perspective of yes, right? So changing and doing something a bit differently. When it comes to romance, okay? So the celebration and the celebratory energy, maybe celebrating differently, right? Every year, okay, and within Western culture, within mainstream society and consciousness and understanding, we celebrate birthdays, right? And in that, it's the perfect time to do that, right? So something is letting you know it's not the perfect time to romanticize situations that you may have gone through in the past. And now that you're no longer doing that, those attachments to the past have been being released, okay? Interesting. Okay, so depending on where you are in the frequency and consciousness, there is a yes to romance happening. So, all right, congrats to you. And also, in another perspective and another layer of perception, I'm picking up spiritual bond, okay? Spiritual bondage and spiritual bond. Find yourself where you fit with that, okay? But the angels or angles of abundance are in a romance with you, I pick up, okay? So that's beautiful, right? Okay. Yeah, choose a new direction to abundance. Trust, okay? So trusting in the choice that you've possibly made recently to step into abundance in a new and different way. And the angels seem to be having your back and guiding you, okay? I'm picking up sentinels as well as demons, okay? It's all energy and frequency and vibration. And how we contextualize energy is different for everyone, right? Okay, or can be. So something about 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's easy as you and me. Okay? So working with the energies of consciousness, working with the energies that are available to you, working with the energies that are ancestral to you, that are traditional to you, all right, that really bring you peace, joy. Yeah, being guided to listen in reverse, okay? So either, this and that are true, I'm picking up, okay? That statement may be significant to someone, okay? I'm picking up this and, but and, maybe if, and what if, right? Those statements may be significant for someone, okay? Leave a comment in the chat. And again, tribe, I'm really appreciating us growing together. Anyway, so moving forward. The listen in reverse. I'm picking up on one aspect, you're not listening to something, or you've actively chosen to reject something, and that's redirecting your way of romance and abundance, and this being an embodiment of your new way of life. Okay? And I'm also picking up you choosing to create your own doctrines, okay, your own belief systems, really reconciling your own belief systems. Okay? You'll see me scanning because as I'm processing the information that I'm receiving, okay, I find the best language to share for us all right? So you may be stepping away from language, okay, or learning a new language, or stepping away from the languages that you have understood, okay? Nonverbal communications, this means that. And now separating and taking a step back with the universe guiding you and holding you and cradling you into a sunset of peace, right? And so the imagery of the sunset, when I reference the sunset, is being on the beach sipping a pina colada, or being in a place of zen and peace for you and whatever that looks like, right? So you're stepping back and really adjusting adjusting the light. Okay, it came up reverse. So adjusting your perspectives around darkness, adjusting your perspective around worry, okay, and worthiness. So www dot, so clearly a website, internet, so some type of frequency, some type of channel, some type of connection that you have made, okay, with worry and worthiness, and the internalized conflict and experiences you faced with worry and worthiness. Okay, so shifting that. All right, tribe. And we do have feminine energies in here, so maybe even okay, so I'm picking up PTSD again. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a clinician, I'm not a physician, I don't have or work in those modalities, but I am here, okay, in specific layers and contexts. Okay, so if you do need any type of literal help with your mental state or some literal ailment, I would recommend you to go to your local representatives for those things. Okay, so worry and worthiness. Okay, so these images may be significant. You may have orange hair. There may be something significant about flowers. Okay, you may have been connecting with nature, like I mentioned earlier with the owl. Okay, and you may have been reaching out to understand and reflect your worthiness. Okay, confirmation. But separating away from worthiness, okay, so stepping away from worthiness as it is defined by others, okay, and stepping away from worry that was being projected onto you. Okay, you called your power back. Okay, something significant about that, because I keep picking up this ritual of calling your power back, separating from any type of perceived handling or handlers. Okay, if you're unfamiliar with gang stalking, okay, let's say shadow government. Okay, the terminology: shadow government, corruption within government. Not all governments are bad. Not all corruption is meant to destroy, right? Something significant in the way that I'm saying that for you. Okay, so you be a disturbance. All right, you be a trendsetter. You be that disruption. Okay, so corruption versus disruption, and or integration of understanding both, and necessary evils, quote unquote. Okay, so a necessary evil in your transformation was worry. You needed to worry about something to understand why you did not need to worry about it. Okay, you needed to understand how to be receptive. Okay, as we had both feminine energies, regardless of gender, but feminine energies in help. Okay, understanding your worthiness to receive help, your worthiness to receive love, your worthiness to be appreciated. Okay, in any form that you take. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, the fourth, something significant about 4. And I say 4 because we have 4 different piles. Okay. All right. So if you picked, or if you feel the energy of pile 1 and 2 in this, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if you picked pile 1 or pile 2, you're finding that the universe has your back in this new beginning and is bringing alignment and balance for you, okay? If you resonated with pile 3, okay, where we have romance and the answer is yes, okay, there's some type of relationship that is being manifested or you're going to be experiencing within your near existence of human. Your near existence of human. Interesting. Okay. And number 4, right? Going from worry to worthiness, okay? And stop worrying about your worthiness, all right? That is an order, okay? Stepping into a leadership role, okay? You may be stepping into a leadership role. All right. So I'm going to keep this video short, tribe. That's the reading for now. Okay. All right. So something about getting to the point. Nice. Okay. And tribe, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you. I wanted to give some thanks. Okay. You know who you are. All of you, I appreciate you. All right. Of the tribe. If you're new, and welcome. Okay. I'll be posting again. Yeah, some type of sigh of relief. Okay, I'm picking up for you. All right. Either way, tribe, click the link above in the bio for all of my products, services, and more dimensions of myself. Click and check out the shorts. I give the recently been working and playing with algorithmic intelligence and AI that may be significant for you too, and providing some subconscious messages that will allow you to release. Okay. So abracadabra. So mote it be, and so it is. Anak Amun. See you next time, tribe.